So let's move on to finite automata. So the transition diagram can be represented in a form of automata, the machine. That finite automata is helping you for recognition of tokens. Okay. Can anyone summarize what are the things we have discussed so far? We are taking the lexical analyzer, right? First you have to scan. Under this we have discussed input buffering, how it is used, and then after reading that you have to recognize tokens. So before going to recognize the tokens, first of all I should get the reference or the rules. That rules is given by rules for specification of tokens is given by regular expressions. Okay, so we have studied how to write regular expressions, and using that regular expressions as a reference, you are getting your lexeme, and now you are going to use finite automata to recognize whether it belongs to token 1, that is identifier or operator or constants like this. So the role of finite automata is here, right? Whatever you are having rules, the rule can be converted into form of a transition diagram. The transition diagram is nothing but finite automata. Okay. So once if you are generating finite automata for this regular expressions, then it is not necessary to go to this one for regular expressions, right? Okay. If you are having only regular expressions, you can do manually to check it out whether the lexeme belongs to any one of the identifiers or operators like that. But if I am converting this regular expression to finite automata, then it is the job of the automata to tell you whatever lexeme you are giving, it will tell you whether it belongs to identifier or operator or constants. Okay. Now, is that clear? Idea clear, ma? Lexical analyzer job? Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So, finite automata will be having separate automatas for each of the tokens, right? It's not going to have a single automata as I had discussed in the previous transition diagram. For identifier, it will be having some machine. Similarly, for operators, it will be having a separate machine, right? So in each of the machines, it will try to tell you whether the lexeme is belonging to the particular token or not. So it will give the output as yes or no. When will you get yes? In the finite automata, when will you get the output as yes for a given string? If you can reach the acceptance state or end state, right? You have to track from the starting 0th state, and then you have to move through all the intermediate states by whenever you are reading one character from your string. And once if you reach the end of the string, and also if you reach the end of that finite automata, then you can say the particular lexeme is belonging to the finite automata's token, right? Okay. There are two kinds of finite automata. One is NFA and another one is DFA. Okay. So what are the 5 things we have to explain when you are explaining your NFA? The first one tells you number of states in your automata, right? It may start from 0 until the end states, right? And when you are drawing that automata, the transition diagram, you can represent like this. Here, over this transition, you have to represent the alphabets, no? So the input set of input symbols will be represented here, right? The input alphabet will be having one more thing, that is epsilon, to specify this is an empty string. Okay, and you are moving from 0 on reading A, it is moving to 1. 0 on reading B, it is moving to 2. Like that, you have to give the rules, no? That will be represented in a form of a transition function, which is explained here in the form of using a data structure, that is transition table. Okay, and also you have to tell for each state you are having some numbers 0, 1, 2, 3 and all. So the starting state should be given, and what are the final states you're having. It's not necessary to have single final state. You may have a number of final states in the case of NFA. Clear? So this state transition, this is starting state should be given like this, and a end state or final state will be given by a double circle. Okay, and simulation of NFA. So simulation of NFA tells you how to read the strings, right? And this is an example. Now you can tell what are the strings accepted by the string. Number 49 in your class, register number 49. Harshal Ravindran. Can you tell one string which is accepted by this finite automata? Harshal. Any one string which is accepted by this automata.
ABC.
Very good, ABC. Tell your friend name.
Ma'am,
Who is
any
your...
string that is ending with C.
Okay, okay. Okay, good. ABC correct. Tell your friend's name, any one of your friend's name. Who is your close friend in this class? Yes, you want to say? Okay. Monish. I need a string which is having 5 characters, which is accepted by this automata. Monish.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. I need a string which is accepted by this automata. That string should have 5 letters. Yeah. Guys, we have already studied all these automata. What will be the first character which will... Are you there, Monish?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, ABC, ABC, ma'am.
Very smart. You are reading it from that slide itself. Huh? Okay. For reading that itself, you are taking 2 minutes time. Huh? Okay, fine. Right. So your automata will be like this. You are using del for transition function, and on input A, it's moving from zeroth state. On input A, it is moving to zeroth state as well as first state. On input B, it is moving to zeroth state only. And from this one, we are having only one transition over the symbol B. So on input B, from 1, it is moving to 2. And from 2, on input B, it is moving to 3. So the same thing can be represented in a form of a table, right? So, but in the table, you have to list out all the alphabets as columns. In addition to that, you have to give for epsilon. Okay. So DFA is a special case of NFA. This is the second type of automata. What is the difference between NFA and DFA is it should not have any moves on epsilon. And for every, so in the previous example, for each state on input symbol, see, for on A, it is moving to both 0 and 1, no? It is moving to 2 states. But in the case of DFA, it's not like that. From a stage, yes, on input symbol A, it should go to only one state. Okay. So this is what the difference between NFA and DFA. And simulating DFA, the one what we have discussed in the previous example. First, you have to read the character and you have to start from 0th state, read the character and check whether this is not an end of file. If it is not an end of file, you can repeat this loop. Move from the current state on input symbol C, it will go to some other state now, so go to that state. That is going to be your current state now, right? And start reading the next character. So for that, you have to use the function next character. Now, once again, from the current state S, on input character C, the next character what you have read, go to the next state, right? Now, after completing this, once if you reaches the end of file, the current state what you are having should be checked. If that current state is in final state, then you can say this is an acceptable one. This string can be accepted by this automata. Otherwise, it will return this is not a valid token. Okay, right. For NFA, you can give like this A or B star A, which is NFA, which is DFA here. Is it NFA or DFA? This is on input symbol A, it is moving to both 0 as well as 1. But
Ma'am,
in the
NFA,
case
ma'am. First one is NFA.
NFA, second one we are having on A, it is going to 1 only, DFA. Okay, so let's move on to the regular language, how to write regular expressions. So these are the concepts we are going to study. First, how to write regular expressions, how to convert into non-deterministic finite automata, that is NFA, and from that NFA, how to convert that, how to generate DFA. And there is one more algorithm to convert regular expression directly to DFA. Once if you reach the finite DFA, you cannot stop at that point. Again, you have to check it out whether there is any chance to minimize the number of states in DFA. So there's an algorithm to tell how to minimize DFA. Okay, so these are the 4 concepts we are going to study in first unit. Right. So first one is you have to check construction of NFA from regular expression. Right. Do you want me to explain more about regular expressions? Can anyone tell before going to this algorithm? Can anyone tell how to write a regular expressions? So already we have discussed that, right? How to write if a set of strings with some constraints are given, you should know how to write a regular expressions. Already we have discussed that in the last class also with some example. So here this is one is for conversion of NFA to conversion of regular expression to NFA. So if you take this, the first rule what you have to do is, in case of epsilon in your regular expression, if your regular expression is having epsilon, you have to draw like this, right? From one state on this one, you have to move to second state, right? For any alphabets in your set of symbols, input symbols, you can have your transition like this, and that symbol will be over this transition. In case if you're having complex regular expressions, you have to split that alphabets, what is present in this expression, and then for each alphabet, you should have a separate transition and separate states, right? And if it is R means, then you should have 2 directions, 2 parallel directions, one over alpha, one over B, right? B star means 0 or more occurrence, so there should be 1 epsilon transitions to reach. Either you can read epsilon to reach the end state, or you may read n number of beta, right? So for that you can have a self loop like this. But actually this is not a correct way. In an elaborated one is given here, right? So Thompson's construction of NFA from regular expression. Rule number 1, on epsilon on any alphabet A. Third one is if your expression is SRT, then you should have totally how many states? 6 states. This is your starting state and this is end state, and there should be epsilon to move to both different directions. And here, if this is having single alphabets, then for that you should have 1 transition. Similarly, if this is also having one single alphabet, then for that it should have one transition. Okay. In case if you are having multiple alphabets here, by concatenation of more than one alphabet here means, then you should have, for each alphabet you should have a state, right? And this is for concatenation. For concatenation, one from S for state transition and from T for transition. For 0 or more occurrence, it will accept either epsilon or S or followed by n number of S's, right? So for that, on epsilon, it can reach the end state. So this is this transition. And similarly, for one occurrence of S, it will reach the state. For 0 or more occurrence of the states, you are having a self loop like this. Okay. Yeah. How can we draw this regular expression for this? Shall we start? Starting state. Okay. Let it be 0. Now, what should you have? The first one is,
epsilon.
shall we start like this? First of all, you have to divide this into sub-expressions, right? How can we divide this? The first component is this one. Second component is this one. We can divide it into 3. Again, you have to draw for this sub-component first. Draw NFA for this. This can be further divided into 2. One is representing AA, another one is BB. Draw DFA, NFA for this, draw DNFA for this. And this one you can directly draw and then combine all these things. Right? Actually, it should be decomposed, right? So the first one is ARB star, AARBB or ARBC. ARB star. Again, you have to elaborate this. For ARB, how to represent AARBB, you have to represent as a inner two directions. Actually, this should be ARBB. And this one is ARB star. Okay. Again, it will be elaborated. So, in the case if you are having a simple expression like this ARB star ABB, how will you represent it? This is one component, and then this will be one component. Okay. So, let us start from the first component, right? The last ABB can be represented by R6, R8, R10, right? This process is normally known as decomposition of regular expressions. We have to decompose it. Let us take the first one. For first one, you are having A or B. The A or B, the whole star. The operator is whole star. So this up to this, it is telling the first component. And ABB for A, this A should be concatenated. So when you are concatenating this, it will generate R7. So at this point, you are having A, R, B, whole star from this left hand side, followed by A in the right hand side. And now you have to combine the next component B, R8. So at this state, A, R, B, whole star A from the left hand side, come concatenated with B. Now at this stage, this should be concatenated. So in the left hand side, you are having A, R, B, A, B, B. Okay. Right? Just do in reverse process. First B will be splitted. Next second B will be splitted. From the last, you can take as the last. Next A will be splitted. Now A or B star is splitted. Okay. If you draw tree like this, it is very easy. So ABB can be represented in this right hand side and ARB is represented like this. Okay. ARB whole star is given. So 0 or more occurrences. So for 0 occurrence, this one.